Hello everyone, I'm very glad to welcome all of you on our People Partner course, and today we have class number 1, participating in the recruiting process, and we will be talking about the People Partner role as well. So let's start. This is the course website, so if you want to participate in this course and if you are not participating right now, so just visit the site and register yourself for the course. And the course program consists of 10, I would say, quite well-packed classes with lots of information. We are starting from the recruitment process, then we will continue with employee adaptation onboarding. Then we will talk about one-on-one with the employees. Actually, class number 2 and class number 3, I would say it's like probably 80% of people partner work. Then we will talk about working with employee engagement and with burnout, which is opposite to the engagement, coaching, how to apply coaching techniques to help solve different problems, different issues, to help employees to achieve their goals, to help them with their growth, with career growth, with development, and so on. Creating a development plan. We are talking about employee development plan, of course. Then exit interview, because sometimes they just leave the company. Then performance review, because it's very important to measure the performance and to plan the performance development based on the performance review results. Yeah, then how to deal with different kind of difficult employees. Okay, so let's start. Let me introduce myself. My name is Mike Pritula, and I started my journey from Alpha Bank, which is now Sense Bank in Ukraine. And I was a trainer and recruiter. Then I worked as in the biggest Ukrainian, actually it's not just Ukrainian TV channel, I'm talking about STB TV channel in Starlight Media. I think it's also one of the biggest East European TV production company. Then I worked for Wargaming, and this is the first time at Wargaming when I had people partners in my team. I had recruiters at STB TV channel, and I would say 30% of their role was about also people partnership. But it was Wargaming where the first time I had the real people partners in my team. Then it was Preply and Ideals, and at these companies I also had people partner in my team. But in Preply we call this person employee happiness manager, which is, I would say it was mistakenly because it's not the correct name. And at Ideals, I had a real people partner with the correct job title. The job title was people partner. Then I helped PeopleForce to build this beautiful system with their assistant. I did some assistance to them. I did some advising to them. And then I founded Mike Pritula Academy to help you with your growth. So let's continue. It was about myself. At my work, I rely on best practices that I highly recommend you to follow. All these companies, all these consulting organizations and everything. It's very important that you rely on best practices, not just on some practices. Okay, and this course, as all of our courses, it has home assignments that you should do between our webinars, and these home assignments allow you to obtain our diploma. So when all of your home assignments are accepted, because sometimes I give you feedback, sometimes I ask you to improve something in your home assignment, but as soon as all of them are accepted, we could issue you this kind of diploma. And we issue diploma online on one of the best platforms, so you're going to be in a good neighborhood. And today class program will be following. So we will start who is actually people partner, right? What's the difference between people partner and other roles? And we will be talking about workforce planning, creating a candidate profile, and participating in interviews. So we will be talking about how people partner role participates in recruitment process, because this role doesn't do recruitment. It's not a recruiter. This role doesn't do candidate search or pre-screening. This role only participates in some stages of the search, and we will be learning how to do that. So let's start. Who's a people partner? You may know that there are lots of different roles in HR and lots of different tracks in HR, like learning and development, total rewards, of course, recruitment, staff records, and so many others. People partner on the different role, and this is a role close to HR business partner also. Next role will be HR business partner, and then could be head of HR or other senior roles. Here, I'm providing you the link. You may see this on the bottom of this deck slide. So this is a link leads to this spreadsheet with all HR, I would say main HR roles. I think we have something like 40 HR roles here. And people partner role is here. So it in employee relations family, the grade is number 4. And this spreadsheet, I mean this one, it has all skills required for each roles, and it shows what level of the skills is required for each role. So for example, if we are talking about company business, I would say people partner needs moderate knowledge of company business. It doesn't need any company finance knowledge or business analysis. It needs some strategic planning, basic knowledge, and so on. So you may assess yourself. You may watch what your current level of your knowledge, and it also helps you to plan your career growth. So let's say you want to be HR business partner, so you can compare. Like let's take something other, like HR audit. For people partner, you just need the basic understanding of HR audit, but for HR business partner, it's good, and I would say almost necessary to have kind of deep knowledge of HR audit process. So this is a link on the bottom of this slide to that spreadsheet. You may follow and check. So let's consider like a standard HR department, which we will find in so many companies. There is HR director at the head of this department. Then we could have different sub-departments like staff records, talent acquisition, learning and development, compensation and benefits, or maybe total rewards, which is more modern name for this department. Maybe internal communications. So this is our heads. They lead these departments. And then we may have HR business partners that work with different business units or regional units. And they, I would say they are between business leaders, HR directors, and HR department heads. So they in this like, let's say, inside this organization, inside this scheme. And people partners here, they work with HR business partners. Actually, there are several divisions how the whole company is divided between all people partners. For example, in wargaming, we had the division of company between HR business partners based on functional basis and sometimes regional basis. And then almost every HR business partner, they had several people partners, and they divided their department into smaller departments. So for example, if at wargaming I had a global publishing department and I worked as HR business partner to global publishing department, I had 4 people partners. One worked with marketing team, another worked with monetization and DevOps, another worked with, let me remember, another, I don't remember exactly the name of the department, some kind of, yeah, it was one part of marketing, and another one was one part of another department. Yeah, like, so something like support. I don't remember exactly the name. So this is how people partner role looks like inside the whole HR structure. And let's see how this role fits the structure and how it helps, what it does, and everything, what it requires. For people partner role, there are some other names that you may find. The most correct name is people partner, actually, but sometimes you may find happiness manager, which is quite not correct because, you know, work is not about happiness. I mean, for people, work is not just about happiness, and happiness is more than just work. So it's not possible for someone to be responsible for employee happiness, because to be happy, you need to be happy in your real life, not just working life. And that's why happiness managers quite not good naming. Also, HR business partner, but it's incorrect because, as we will see, HR business partner works on different issues and more with team leaders and heads, while people partner mostly work with employees, individual contributors. Could be HR generalist. Again, it's incorrect because HR generalist is just the one HR in the whole company. And sometimes it could be office manager, but it's more like a transitional role. Some office managers working with employees, helping employees, they could become people partner. Like at Ideals company that I worked in, we had office managers that became people partner because of her connections, of her company knowledge, of her relations with people, and her motivation, of course. Okay, so let's consider people partner role in terms of how people partner focuses on something that other roles doesn't focus on, right? So there is a Dave Ulrich model, like a model of four key roles of any HR department. Dave Ulrich said that in any HR department, there should be administrative expert. The role, it's actually the role, but we mean there could be several people there, right? So it's like a generic role. Administrative expert is a role that is focusing on managing the HR structure. It's about processes and present. There are also strategic partners, which usually is HR director. And the role is about alignment of HR and business strategy. And this role focuses on future and processes. There are also change engine, which is usually represented by HR business partner. And the role is about transformation and change management. And it's about people and future. And finally, there are employee advocate role, which is about managing employee contributions, and it's about present and people. And here, employee advocate is a role for people partner. Okay, so people partner works with all employees on every stage of their employee journey. There are a lot of different approach how to show the employee journey or employee life cycle, sometimes they call it. And people partner works closely with all stages of employee life cycle. It's another approach to show the employee cycle or employee journey. And this approach is about employee journey map, and it shows every touch point of employee with the company, like during different stages of their employment, starting from application stage, then joining and onboarding, work recognition, growth and development, then exit, and then networking and return, because sometimes people return. And this employee journey map represents the employee experience. As you can see, it has different colors. For example, when the employee experience is good at this touch point, the color is green. So we mean that in this situation, employee experience is very good and positive emotions. If it's gray, it means we have no data about employee experience at this touch point. Could be also neutral, like orange color, and could be negative, red color. So the idea here for the company to change all colors to green, and for people partner is to focus on each touch point and also to contribute to make better employee experience, so to make them more effective and to help them to achieve high performance. Okay, so the main question for people partner role, how we can improve employee performance. And of course, employee performance includes employee engagement and employee motivation. So the main focus of the role of people partner is to improving employee performance, employee contribution, and of course, engagement and motivation. For this, people partner acts in different roles or sub-roles. Could be a counselor for employees, sometimes mediator for different conflicts, even sometimes like a pension bag, and maybe vest, save invest for those who are thinking. Voice of reason, even maybe psychologist, consultant, negotiator, maybe policeman, and team player. This is the standard roles that are considered as people partner roles. And yes, of course, you act in all these roles at the same time. So you switch between these roles. For some employees, you need to help them. For some employees, you need to motivate them. For some employees, you need to solve their problems and maybe make mediation for their conflicts. Yes, so very interesting role. Proportions. I would say that people partner for 70% is a friend of an employee, and for 30% is a friend of the manager of this employee. So considering interests of employee and the manager, people partner is more on employee side. And for example, HR business partner is vice versa. HR business partner is more on manager side and less on employee side. Let's move on. How the day goes for people partner? 70% of the whole day you spend on different meetings. Most of them are individual meetings with employees. We call them one-on-one meetings or just meetings because sometimes you just have onboarding meeting. Some of these meetings are team meetings because usually people partner is asked to participate in team meeting, and 30% of the time is about letters, correspondence, and some kind of reports. Location. It's very good when people partner sits with the team. I mean the business team, not the HR team. It's much more effective when people partner sits with the business team in their office. Of course, if it's online work, yeah, then people partner sits at home and works with the team. But it means people partner sits with the team virtually. So if it's online work, we mean that people partner is a part of all team chats, team spaces, team, some communications, documents, and so on and so forth. And it's also good to communicate informally, so to participate in different gatherings, like just to go and drink some coffee and maybe take some water and go to the lunch together is very useful for people partner as well. So now the objectives of people partner. Increase, I think it's from some of official documents I took. I don't remember exactly. Probably it was from the vacancy or maybe job description. I like this a lot because it represents the idea perfectly, and it reflects my internal understanding of this role. So increase HR visibility and find more opportunities for touch points through the employee lifecycle, which I showed you before. Thus creating a purposeful employee experience rather than leaving it to chance. Ensure alignment with business goals by reinforcing them at the department level and working with managers to communicate strategy from top to bottom. And also get more visibility into team level events. It means it gets more visibility to HR team and provides more visibility to HR team what happens in team level events, assessing exit risks, alerting to performance issues, and etc. Structure. How people partners could be structured. between all employees in the company. Let's say we have a big company and we have a lot of people partners. They could be structured first by organization, which was the case for wargaming, right? Because in our situation, it was organized by departments. So each HR representative supports all managers who report to the same manager. Could be by department. An HR representative may support all sales and production departments. Another may support all marketing and finance departments. And another may support all engineering and production departments. By job level, an HR representative may support a team of executives or senior directors and above, while another may support junior and middle managers. And by region, one HR representative may support EMEA, another may support the US and Canada, and the third may support South America. Typical duties of this role: develop a high level of knowledge and understanding of the company's business model and the service we offer. This is taken from one of the vacancy description. Develop a deep understanding of the cultural and organizational structure of the company and our clients. Become an expert in our HR policies, procedures, and CRM. Develop existing structures to ensure consistency, alignment, and adherence to best HR practices and company strategy. Develop and implement initiatives to support employee through their life cycle with the company. Onboarding, induction, and probationary period, promotions, transfers, and rotations, exit interviews, and terminations. Okay, typical duties continuation. Support various HR-related initiatives, performance management and appraisal, conflict management, talent management and development, employee relations management, internal mobility, retention, talent acquisition, workforce planning, headcount and position management, succession planning. Prepare ad hoc reports as directed by the human resource manager and implement effective reporting to support decision-making. Participate in leading, evaluating, and monitoring training and development programs. Ensure that training objectives are met. Provide a supportive environment for communication. Facilitate regular one-to-one meetings. Guides development of skills and performance of our team members at all levels by playing the role of coach, trainer, and consultant. As you can see from these duties, our program is very good aligned to these duties. So let's consider the participation of this role in different HR processes. Starting from recruiting. In recruiting, people partner is responsible for assisting the manager in the formation of recruitment application or recruitment requisition form. Participating in interviews together with the recruiter. Selling the vacancy to the candidate. Introducing the candidate to the team and office if necessary. Participation in decision-making. Participation in job offer approval. Adaptation or onboarding. Meet the candidate on the very first day of their work. Adaptation talk. Tour of the office. Organization of lunch with supervisor or team. Regular one-on-one meetings during the adaptation period with the employee and supervisor separately. Also could be together, but usually it's separately. But we will talk about it later. Goal settings, like during the OKR cycles. Participate in goal setting, collecting feedback afterwards, monitor the achievement of goals as a coach. Of course, not as a controller, but as a coach. Employee development. Participating in the development plan creation, organizing activities from the plan, such as paying for a course or ordering a book, evaluating the effectiveness of development and gathering feedbacks and maybe sometimes preparing reports. Monitoring and feedback, regular one-on-one meetings when possible with employees, not just during the probation period, but also afterwards. Meetings at the request of the employee or supervisor, so like ad hoc meetings by the request of someone. Self-initiated meetings based on observations or recommendations from colleagues, because sometimes teammates say, you know, seems he has a problem. could you talk to him? Organization of team building events, format selection and discussion with the team, organization of payment, organization of participation, logistics, participation as a team member in team building events, and collecting feedback and evaluating effectiveness afterwards. Conducting surveys, launching surveys on their team, monitoring participation, conducting interview with employees as an alternative to a survey. Annual performance evaluation, which is called usually annual performance review or just annual review. Preparing the employee for the performance review, like in form of consultation. Discussing the meeting plan with the supervisor or manager. Scheduling a meeting on the calendar and sending invites. Attending the meetings and being as a coach or facilitator. And collecting feedback from the meeting. And maybe fixing some agreements and then monitoring these agreements, like let's say salary increase was agreed, so people partner could monitor that it takes place in reality. Payment or salaries, discussion salary expectations with employee, communicating salary policy, and making recommendations on salary revision to the manager. Balancing the fair payment and attrition risks, and market payment, of course. Okay, so motivating and engagement of employees, a regular assessment of motivation and engagement via surveys, via interview, via observations from different sources. Analyzing employee demotivation factors, recommending solutions to improve motivation, could be both for employees themselves and also for, let's say, manager and sometimes for HR department. Eliminating of the motivating factors and congratulations on birthday and anniversary of employment with the company and other events like marriage, birthday, child birthdays, and others. Okay, employee inquiries and questions. First line of support for all employees. So if employees have a question, they go to people partner first and ask their questions, and then if needed, people partner addresses questions to the central HR department. And forwarding requests to central HR if it's needed. Problems and conflicts. Sensitivity to problems and conflicts in teams or between employees. Organization of meetings to resolve conflicts. Sometimes, when there is a conflict between different departments, two people partners meet to discuss the resolution of this conflict. Individual work with conflicting parties. Failing efficiency. If some of employees, they have this failing efficiency or decreasing efficiency. Discussing the reasons for the drop in efficiency, joint search with employees for solutions, and forming recommendations for the manager. Dismissal, conducting exit interviews, and supervising the transfer of all information, documents, and everything to the team or to the next employee. Involuntary dismissal, sometimes it happens. Attending a termination meeting, formation of severance pay, mitigation all negative results of dismissal. So these were the main activities of people partner, and let's move and learn deeper. And we will start from recruiting, which is the first step of employee journey map, where people partner joins this map and help to improve this map. So what people partner could do during this step? As I said before, people partner could have the hiring manager to prepare the job requisition form, but the job requisition form should be based on employee or job profile. So creating the job profile is the very first step before the recruitment process. A job, or sometimes we call it role profile, or just a profile, describes the key characteristics of a role, the role performed by employee for perform activities as required. And this document defines the overall purpose of this role, key result areas, like role elements, no more than 5 or 6, for which there are clear deliverables and standards, each of which makes a significant contribution to the overall purpose of the company. Then requirements for knowledge, skills, and abilities, they reflect what the role holder should know and be able to do, and behavioral requirements, the types of behaviors required to successfully perform the role. And this is a template for job profile. As you can see, it has job title, the main purpose, key result areas, then KPIs that helps us to measure these key result areas and objectives, and also knowledge requirements, skill requirements, and behavioral competencies. Sometimes could be in the form of basic role profile, but it's very limited, and I recommend you to go with full profile. So how to develop a role profile? You just need to discuss with the hiring manager all these 8 questions. Like, what is the overall purpose of the role? How does the role contribute to the organization's strategic objectives? What are the key result areas in the role that define what is to be achieved? And the rest. So this is an example of job profile for you to have some example and to rely on this example when you create the real profile. And this is a profile form that could be transmitted to a recruitment team to help them to better understand the mission, objectives, outcomes, and competencies of the role. Then, based on this profile, of course, in the company, you may have a job requisition form because it's so popular to have this internal document. So you help to fill this job requisition form based on the job profile and your understanding of the role. And then recruiter is responsible for creating vacancy or job text. But recruiter usually doesn't have all information about the role, about the team. So it's very useful for you to participate, at least to revise the job vacancy text and maybe improve it or propose how it could be improved. And sometimes it's needed to involve hiring manager to, again, revise the text and improve the text to make it more attractive. So here I'm giving you the example of vacancy text, which is highly attractive and well organized. It has a general description, information about the candidate, expected outcomes rather than responsibilities, competencies, and then what would be an advantage for candidate, what we offer, and call to action. So this is the format I recommend you to use for your job vacancy. Then, based on job profile and the discussion of the open role, recruiter creates the search map. You may participate in creation of the search map based on your knowledge and understanding of all employees and all history of all employees. I highly recommend you to review all profiles on LinkedIn of current employees with the same job in your team and advise recruiter on this matter and discuss from where this all team members came from, how they were found, and everything. Yeah, and this is a search map. Again, you are not being a people partner. You're not responsible for creating a search map or job vacancy text, but you make a significant contribution to make it better because you are so interested in hiring the A players or the best possible candidates, not just mediocre candidates. So you participate and focus on doing the job well. And also your participation shows the highest interest to recruiter, so recruiter is more motivated to do their job better. Then the pitch. The pitch is a text that is sent to passive candidates via their emails. And again, it's very important that this pitch is highly attractive, describes the situation, describes the vacancy and the team. So you participate in creation the pitch as well. Then selection tools. Again, usually it's a recruiter's responsibility to create and develop these selection tools, but you may contribute with your knowledge of the role and the team. So check how the scorecard is developed. Here's an example of the scorecard. Sometimes you work with less experienced recruiters, so you may advise them to use these tools. So you may advise them to create the pitch, to use the scorecard, to fill the scorecard with the information. By the way, this is the scorecard. Let me show you how it looks like. This is a scorecard. You may create your copy. Oh, sorry, this is not correct language. Yeah, it has a very simple job requisition form. It has text for template for vacancy text. It has pitch. It has the recruitment process template, all stages, all requirements, all actions. It also has test for the candidate. It has search strategy, and it has scorecard to assess all candidates with this scale. So imagine your recruiter, they don't know this tool, so you advise to use this tool. Then some information about the interview and your participation. The idea here that you may participate in some recruitment interview or professional interview with the hiring manager. When you participate in the interview, you ask questions. So you should be prepared, and you should know some basic rules of asking questions during the interview. The very first rule that you should prepare your questions in advance. It's called structured interview. Structured interview means that you prepared your questions and you ask 10 questions to all candidates. Then another rule is your questions should be in the form of behavioral interview. So you are asking questions about the past behavior, not the general understanding or general attitude about something like a teamwork. You're asking about the past behavior because the past behavior is the only real predictor of the future behavior. And you are asking not just about the past behavior, but you are asking about competency-based past behavior. For this, it's better to use some competency library and pick some competencies that is useful for the role. When we are talking about competencies, it's very important to understand the difference between hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are skills necessary for performing the job. It's professional skills. And so soft skills is like a helping skills. They help us to be better employees. They are about task management, managing people or relations with them, and self-management. This is an example of competency. You have title, you have definition, and indicators. Could be in the form positive and negative, or just positive indicators. This is a competency. To use competencies, you may use this TMA component or competency library to pick some competencies and questions to be asked during the interview. Also, when you ask questions about competencies, you're not just asking the general question, you are also asking more detailed questions. And there are some techniques about this deeper competency understanding. And one of the technique is CARE technique. It means you are asking questions to better understand content, action, role, and effect. And here we have this kind of questions. So I recommend you not to ask all possible questions about all competencies, because there's going to be a recruiter, or sometimes there is going to be a hiring manager or technical expert. I'm recommending you to pick maybe 2 or 3 competencies that, by your opinion, are the most important for the role, maybe even 1 competency, and to ask questions about this competency with all these details, with all these additional questions to get your understanding of the candidate profile. And also during the interview, you listen others' questions, you make your own opinion, but try not to generalize the opinion, try to also fill the scorecard with the scores based on the competencies. So you need to be you need to participate in scorecard development, so then you can assess candidate via scorecard requirements. Okay. So this is a rating scale that helps you to assess all competencies. And what is also very useful to assess motivation, because you want to work with motivated employees. So it's very important for yourself to assess their motivation. And here I'm providing you the set of questions that will help to assess their motivation. And then committee. Sometimes not only hiring manager makes a decision, sometimes there is a committee, like several people, and you actually may be the part of this committee. So just make sure that before making the decision about the hiring, you considered all these documents, and the rest of the committee did the same. So they do their decision not just based on the profile, but based on the all information gathered during the interview process. So that was about people partner role and about the participation and recruitment process. And next time we will be talking about employee adaptation or employee onboarding, which is one of the responsibilities of people partner. Now the homework, you need to create a job profile for any job in your team. So you have the instructions, you have questions, you have the example, you create the job profile based on the example and send as a homework via student account. This is 2 books I highly recommend you to read, and also the link to the taxonomy of HR skills that I showed you with the spreadsheet and all roles for you to better understand your role and required skills. That's it for the first class. Thank you for your participation, and we will see you soon. And if you are watching this webinar on YouTube and you are not in this group, just click the link in the description and join us with this course. Thank you again and see you soon. Bye.